It is now abundantly clear that the Trump campaign did not do any vetting when it came to J.D. Vance becoming the vice presidential pick. This new audio that just came out is not only devastating for the campaign, but just honestly absolutely disturbing that someone like this is so close to power. He already is very powerful in that he has a vote in the Senate, but someone who could be a heartbeat away from the presidency with these sorts of views is actually disturbing, disgusting, and should be disqualifying, frankly. Here is Donald Trump saying Donald Trump is not liking the weird allegations. This leaked audio from J.D. Vance is not going to help. Here he is saying that they're not the weird ones, and J.D. Vance isn't either. I think he's going to reconsider that after this audio comes to light.
And if you've ever seen her with the laugh and everything else, that's a weird deal going on there. They're the weird ones. Nobody's ever called me weird. I'm a lot of things, but weird I'm not. And I'm up front, and he's not either, I will tell you. JD is not at all. They are.
I don't know about that, my friend, because here is your vice presidential pick and you saying that you back states wanting to survey pregnant women. The former president and his VP nominee have said states with abortion bans should be able to monitor women's pregnancies. Women of America, men of America. This is who is on the Republican ticket. They want to not only control your bodies, they want to now be able to monitor your body. Your baby in your body is not your own. It is owned by the state. Owned by the state. And for his part, J.D. Vance has doubled down on the insanity he's been saying the past couple of days. Real quick, if you're liking this video, please like and subscribe. Liking and subscribing helps push this into the algorithm, getting this in front of more people. That's how you can help. Thanks so much. When calling Americans without children sociopathic, here's what he said.
I'm happy to defend what I said because what I said is true. The Democrats have become anti-family. I think it's a huge mistake for our country to go in that direction, and I'm happy.
Great. I wonder if J.D. Vance is going to defend these comments in this just leaked audio. Here he is saying that rape and incest are just inconvenient matters when it comes to childbirth. Listen.
Should a woman be forced to carry a child to term after she has been the victim of incest or rape?
Look, my view on this has been very clear, and I think the question betrays a certain presumption that's wrong. It's not whether a woman should be forced to bring a child to term, it's whether a child should be allowed to live, even though the circumstances of that child's birth are somehow inconvenient or a problem to the society.
Maybe I'm old-fashioned. I don't know. Is this an old-fashioned thought? I just feel like women should make the decision for themselves. Matt Iglesias said, Trump understands the need for political caution, but this is the kind of metaphysical worldview that will be inspiring the judges, U.S. attorneys, healthcare regulators, and more who he appoints. And of course, his successor. Yes, Trump owns all of this. He wants this. He knows that this is who J.D. Vance is. These are the types of judges he has put into power who believe in this sort of orthodoxy. This is all because of him. He got rid of Roe v. Wade. If not for him, all this would be moot. But this is his own making. Russell said, K.O. Murphy said, Dad raped me and now I'm pregnant. Isn't that inconvenient? Yeah. Ali Minai said, inconvenient or a problem for society, not to mention of the woman who was raped. Truly monstrous. 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 Y'all need to share this far and wide because not only is just this disturbing and disgusting, J.D. Vance obviously fully believes all of this. So he should have no problem defending it, standing up to it, and explaining why he said this. And what we need to do is make sure that every American who is going to vote, that they are aware that this is who Donald Trump and J.D. Vance are. Because this is completely out of step with what the majority of the country wants. This is a radical group of people trying to take over the country and enforce their minority view on the public that doesn't want it. I cannot wait to see the Democratic vice president nominee make work of this man on the debate stage. I don't know who that's going to be, but here is a taste of what it might look like if it were Pete Buttigieg.
Start. I think, they've selected somebody who has really reminded so many Americans of why they are off-put by the turn that the Republican Party has taken in the last few years. It's not just that he said a lot of things that are weird or insulting, like the characterization of, the Democratic Party as childless cat ladies. It's also that he seems to view everything in terms of the negative. And what I mean by that is, for example, this thing about having children, I think a lot of us who have had kids would certainly say that experience opens you to a new way of thinking about the world. But he doesn't talk about it in those terms. He talks about how anybody who doesn't have kids is less than, that their perspectives have less value, which is just a really strange take. And it's not just a weird style that he brings. It's that this leads to weird policies, like his proposal that the number of votes you get in an election would be different depending on how many kids you have. I would think one person, one vote is a pretty basic, universally accepted principle in this country. But there's so many strange policy commitments he has. And so I guess what I would most want to see in that debate, whoever is at the table with him, is getting into that relationship between a strange worldview and a strange set of policies. Let's also remember his relationship to Project 2025. As you said, it's kind of amazing they put all this stuff out there.
Yeah, it's remarkable.
I think it's also telling that this is the first time I can remember that a comprehensive policy framework for a political party has been so profoundly unpopular that the president, the candidate of that party, has to pretend he's got nothing to do with it. Let's face it, it is definitely the roadmap for a future Trump administration. J.D. Vance, having him on the ticket, basically certifies that fact, because J.D. Vance wrote the foreword to the forthcoming book by the Heritage Foundation president. The Heritage Foundation is the institutional home of Project 2025, which means it's basically Project 2025, the book. So it couldn't be more on the nose in terms of revealing where a Trump presidency would take this country. And as Kamala Harris says so effectively, where it would take us is backward.
It's never been more apparent that it's exactly right. That such a prescient slogan that we are not going back, because that is exactly where Trump and J.D. Vance want to take us. Comments like this only reinforce that fact that Trump and J.D. Vance want women to be property. They don't want them to be in control of their own bodies. They see women only as a vehicle in which children are bred, and they don't care in what circumstances that woman becomes pregnant. An embryo is more important to them than a woman and her body. And so we have to make sure that everyone knows about this, because the stakes of the election just got much more higher, because we have, like I said, radical people on the right this close to getting power. And it may very well change our country forever if they do.